Welcome to another in the series of open philosophy videos. In this video we shall be dealing with the dream argument as a justification for skepticism. The dream argument was already old when it was written about by Plato in his Theaetetus. Later it was dealt with by Aristotle, St. Augustine, St. Thomas Aquinas, and it finally enters modern philosophy through René Descartes and his methodological doubt. The argument also occurs in Chinese philosophy. In the 4th century BC, Chuang-Tzu and Vasubandhu both used it to support positions skeptical of experience. The argument has two forms: a weak form, in which it is argued that we can't know at any particular time whether we're asleep or dreaming, and a strong form, in which it is argued that everything that we experience may in fact be only a dream. Since the dream argument is raised as a philosophical objection to our knowing truth, we need to ask what difference it would make. Suppose that, contrary to fact, we actually did philosophy while we were dreaming. What would we not be able to know that would be important to philosophy? Well, we could certainly know that we exist, that we're alive, that we can think. We would know that there's a difference between subjects and objects. We would be able to tell that there is change in the world, and we would be able to use our intellects to figure out what kinds of causes are involved in changes. We would also be able to figure out that God exists and is necessary, because the evidence for all of these things really doesn't depend upon the details of reality. It simply depends on the existence of a changing phenomenological world. On the other hand, we would not be able to do science, because we would not know whether our experiments were the results of our imagination or of some reality. In the weak form, it is argued that there is no difference in the experiences we have when we're asleep and dreaming and when we're awake and aware. Of course, this is not true. Some people, and I'm one of them, have what is called lucid dreaming. We know that we're dreaming. If I have a dream that I don't like, I can simply wake myself up by saying this is not real, it's a dream. This fact alone demonstrates that there are differences which can be perceived. Some of us have learned to perceive them, and some have not, but the differences are there. Another difference is that we don't do critical thinking when we're dreaming. I've never read of a philosopher who claims to have done philosophy while asleep, at least not consciously and in a dream. If we were thinking critically, we would notice that the dream is not like reality. It has anomalies, transitions which can't occur in reality, and violations of physical law, other factors which make a dream very different from our experience awake. Thus, the premise that we can't tell the difference between being asleep and dreaming and being awake and aware of reality is simply false. The strong form of the dream argument suggests that everything that we experience as reality might actually be a dream. Yet, when we think about it, this is a meaningless claim. Why is it meaningless? Because words get their meaning from shared experiences. It is only because I and the people that I'm talking to in my language group understand words by shared experiences. We understand by reality that which we encounter in our everyday lived lives. When we're awake, the world around us is what we experience, and that is what we call reality. When we think of dream, what we think of is the shared experience of what happens when we're asleep. We see visions, hear sounds, perhaps smell smells, and these things constitute dreams. They're temporary, transient experiences, and they practically disappear when we wake up. Yet, if we apply these definitions, these shared understandings, to the dream argument, the argument ceases to make sense. The dream that we're asked to consider in the dream argument is not a dream, and the reality which we're asked to reject in the dream argument is, in fact, the very notion of reality that we have. We're asked to say, in effect, that reality is not reality, and dreams are not dreams. The argument is meaningless and senseless.